Today's video is brought to you by Demmo, the future of private audio sharing. Forget about messy Dropbox folders and clunky SoundCloud privates. Demmo is built for music creators with everything producers has been asking for decades. You get heat maps that show exactly where people are listening or skipping, multiple customizable links per track, and powerful organization with versioning, Kanban boards, and status tags. They have also just added folder sharing with password protection included on the free tier, along with super useful tools like swapping audio on links and more. There are dashboards built for feedback live streams, and every play is in lossless quality. If you are serious about your music, ditch the old tools and start sharing smarter with Demmo at demmo.link. Hello producers, it's Ozgun here and welcome to the channel. So guys, in the last feedback stream, I noticed a common problem like I saw in the so many tracks, and that was the balance between the sub and the mid bass. So and then I realized when you mix with headphones, everything is super tight, like super full. You can hear the sub bass very properly because the headphones or the earphones are like literally touching to your ear and it's so close. So you can hear the sub bass perfectly and your music sounds super tight in the headphones. But then you play the same track on a like big speaker or a club system, or even if you are lucky in a festival stage, and then the low end is just disappears. It's super weak and it's empty. So the reason behind this because the headphones are translating low frequencies are very different than the speakers. So you can hear the sub frequencies very well in the headphones, but if your mid bass is not balanced properly, your whole mix down is gonna collapse on like a big speaker. So in this video I like to show you how to fix that, and if you're ready, let's jump to the tutorial. So I'm gonna show you two different scenarios. First one is gonna be a rolling bass scenario, and in this case I just have a sub layer and a sidetrans bass, a rolling bass line. So my sub is like that. I just find it on flex. This is actually just like an 808. And I just high cut it a lot like this because I don't want it to clash that much with the upper bass frequencies. So even we can cut it more. And in this case, it's just having an offbeat note. So if I just use a sub and the kick, my low end is pretty much full. I can feel the sub. Sub is there, but there's no bass. When I add the bass, now it's starting to make sense. And when I check it with span, you should be able to see we should cover the first octave, first fundamental note, and the second octave. So the first octave is going to be covered by the sub you use, and the second octave is going to be covered by the, the bass, the rolling bass line, the mid bass you put. If we examine this, we can see that the first octave is this, it's covering with the sub. Just like that. And the mid bass, just feeling the second octave and the rest of the harmonics. So if I have like the sub and the mid bass as separate, I can easily balance them in a mix. For example, I can turn the volume up for the mid bass according to my taste, and as much as I have mid bass, my bass is gonna sound much more fuller in a club system, So that's my span preset. You can grab that from here, and that's what I will do. Just solo the kick first and see where the kick lands, in terms of loudness, and just check the sub and put the sub approximately the same loudness with the kick. So just like that, they are pretty much similar. And now for the mid bass, it's totally up to your taste. You can solo the sub and put the, mid bass, and I always like to have like that. So the second octave, the mid bass, should be kind of equal to the sub or maybe less. Usually not more. So maybe something like that. And that's a nice balance between kick, sub, and the mid bass. So you see, it's pretty easy. So let's say maybe we don't have a sub. Instead, we are using a rumble, which is again the same logic. So that's the rumble I have. Dot processing. I'm just gonna cut the highs, just like same. So I can only have the first octave of it. Like rumbles are gonna leak a little bit, that's okay, as long as it not clash that much with the mid bass. And then I can put my mid bass. The same logic. If I turn off the mid bass, you can feel the sub, you can literally feel it with the chest. It's just covering the very low frequencies, but it's not actually something hearable. But for example, if I like to just use a rumble without a mid bass, for example, this rumble already contains enough mid frequencies, like enough second octave area. But still I will boost it like that. Now the rumble is also covering the sub and the mid bass frequencies. Without it, it's not cutting through. But if I boost the mid frequencies, like 200 Hz, maybe even like a little bit lower, now the rumble is cutting through. So you always need enough, frequencies in the 100 Hz till 200 and 250, let's say. That's the mid-bass range, mid-bass area. So let's go to the second scenario. So in this second scenario, I'd like to show you how to use just the rumble. And for that, actually, I'm going to copy a little bit technique from the Visual Riots, one of his previous videos. So this second technique is inspired from it. So I like to make a rumble bass line, but I like to have this rumble to be like a tonal, has a key. Because usually the rumbles doesn't have key unless you process it in a right way. But I just watched a Visual Riot video recently and I'm just stealing this technique from his videos and that's pretty brilliant, I can say. So to generate a rumble, we will just put a 3x oscillator and we will just generate a noise like this. So what a white noise, it's just, frequencies from bottom, from lows to highs, like all frequencies are covered. So that's the white noise. I'm gonna just consolidate this. And then we got this. And then I'm just gonna give it tons of gain. It's pretty loud. And I can just put this to a mixer channel. And in the mixer channel, let me lower the volume. If we high cut it, we will just get the low frequencies, right? Just like that. I have a side chain, by the way. So that's the rumble. And you can use it like that. So you can just drag drop the rumble to channel rec. And then in here, let's route it back to channel 10, the rumble channel. And let's normalize it. Give it a little bit crossfade. Give it more volume. Now I can just activate some overdrive top of it. And I'm gonna now just write like an offbeat notes like this. And it sounds like this. And you can use a rumble like this. So now we just have a rumble from a white noise. And if you like to change the vibe of it, you can change the sample start position like this. You see, it's like every starting position is going to give you a different groove. You can make it fully mono, fully wet, totally up to your taste. So guys, if you're enjoying the content so far, please consider to like the video. It takes only a second, but helps me a lot. So thank you. But yeah, we were talking about making the rumble tonal, right? If you want a rumble that doesn't have a key, you can just use it like that, even process it more. But if you like to have a key, you can just low cut it. Let's cut the sub frequencies maybe till 100 Hz, just like we talked before. Now this rumble is just like a mid bass. And then we can just activate the sub again. This one, let me high cut. This one, like the one that plays the just sub. And now I can just layer this with rumble, because now my white noise rumble is just like a mid bass because I just cut the low frequencies. Even I can just cut it more after saturation. Make it more tight. And now I can just balance them just like we talked before. So as you see, this is sub, this is the rumble, second octave. Let's give it more volume. Now the second octave, my mid bass is like as powerful as the sub. As you see, whatever note I'm gonna put to my sub, it's gonna just also change the tonality of the rumble. So now we have a rumble low end, which actually has a key. Let's put it, for example, to the D. The low end, sub, which you don't hear but feel, is always gonna be tonal. Let's put it back to maybe A, F, yeah guys, as I show you, if your mixes doesn't translate to a speaker or like a club system, that's because of that. An unbalanced mid bass or like absence of a mid bass can ruin your low end, and this is how you can fix it. So guys, if you have more questions, please let me know in the comment section. I can also shoot another video to cover your questions regarding to this topic. And today that was it guys. See you on the next video. Bye bye.